Hello everybody and welcome back for more Let's Play Donkey Kong Country 2. In today's episode we're going to enter Krem Quay and then we're going to start with the Barrel Bayou. One thing I do want to point out, folks, is that whenever after you've entered all the bonus rooms and gotten all the collectibles, and then when you're in the overall map of Crocodile Isle, go over to the selection, or the world selection there, and then it actually does show you the exclamation mark and the DK emblem next to it, though. So if you see that, then that means you've actually gone through every bonus room and gotten all the collectibles in every level there is. So that actually goes to show that you're very much good to go. And so that's actually what I always do, is I just check to make sure. I just go back and check, to make sure if I got everything. Because I know for a fact that I would actually go through all the bonus rooms and get the collectibles. But like even after I finish stuff, I'll go like, okay, did I get everything? And that's what it tells me in the back of my head, like just kind of screaming at me, like, did you get everything? And so I always go back and make sure that I've got everything, and then I see the symbols there. So like, okay, thank God, that means I'm good to go. I'm actually that kind of paranoid. So anyway, so this here, as you can see, is a swamp level, and I actually really like this level because I really like all the green and also the background here too, because of how because it kind of very much looks all dense and very dark here too. And yeah, you're gonna want to find Rainman in this one though, because once you go all the way, then that's when you get the DK emblem. Now these guys right here, these are called cloaks, and cloaks will throw shit at you as they laugh at you as well. They go like ha ha ha. But yeah, what you want to do for this kind of cloak is that he'll try to throw barrels. Sometimes he'll occasionally throw a zinger. Yeah, so like, oh, I get a song about being fearful of the wasps. But this guy actually throws, let's say, a treasure chest which contains a cannonball. So we're gonna need that cannonball over to that one cannon to get to that bonus room. So that's all it is here. So that's what you want to do. So just show that one off. Also, let's go closely to the music. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. And hopefully I don't get this video banned for because of copyright, but yeah, this does very much sound like the In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. And as a matter of fact, according to David Wise, I'm pretty sure David Wise himself spoke of this. But like, this is supposed to be an inspiration of that song from Phil Collins. That's why the beginning track, it sounds very much exactly like how it played at the beginning of that song. So that is really very much a nice reference, and it's great to hear too, because somebody who actually I actually have known Phil Collins, or haven't listened to his songs, well, actually since I was a kid. And I guess part is because since my parents actually did just so happen to have a soundtrack album for Phil Collins, which they've kept, which I've actually known around, like, I guess since I was only 4 years old, probably. Yeah, that's how long I've actually known about Phil Collins. And like, especially more so that especially considering the fact they also had the Tarzan album, Disney's Tarzan, because that's when a lot of the songs from there are also by Phil Collins. Okay, so this one here, Glimmer's Galleon. So this one here, it's, well, the beginning aspect of it is the beginning portion of it is it's been pretty cumbersome, because like as you can see here, obviously enough, it is perpetually dark. Well, not like rock tunnel dark, but like it's dark enough where you have to look closely and make out where exactly where things are, and especially considering the fact that you would have to go upwards for that one bonus room to get into. Now, there is that one gimmick that we're going to be going to later on, though, but for now, we're just going to have to check each of the nook and crannies for those collectibles, because we were going to want to go to that bonus room first, and then somewhere up there, there's supposed to be a DK emblem, so, like, right at the beginning of it, yeah, see, there we go. So, it is very dark here, and so you have to just look very closely to exactly where you're going, and actually see where the objects are. But, of course, some of them could be, like, some objects that, that look like they're, that look like walls, but you can actually just swim through them. And I believe this is probably going to be our last underwater section here, where, just, swimming underwater in this, inside this pyre hole here. And there is a Clomp that's still just walking underwater, very slowly, though. But unfortunately, we can't kill him, though, because just like in DKC2, you are completely defenseless underwater. And your only methods of attack if you have On Guard with you, but unfortunately, On Guard is not in this game. But speaking of the animal buddies, this here is Glimmer. Glimmer will help you light the way over to the path here. And he doesn't really appear until, like, once you get to, at least a quarter of the way into this level. But yeah, he helps you just find your way through just by lighting the path for you here. Now, here's one thing I do want to bring up. So this is another thing that was also like in DKC1 if you're playing the original cartridge version. Same thing applies to, this game too, where in the original cartridge version, whenever the light actually goes in in the opposite 180-degree angle, there will be that bright flash of light that will just, flash right at the TV screen, and that really causes, well, that probably will cause quite a bit of eye strain to those kind of players who are playing on the original cartridge. Which, thankfully, they actually removed that, starting with the Virtual Console releases on the, well, first off on the Nintendo Wii, and then subsequent re-releases, like, in the Virtual Console for the Wii U, and then of course, in this case, for one I'm playing here is the NSO version. So, so yeah, they removed that. So it's actually a little easier on the eyes in that instance, though. But I could definitely imagine, those people playing on the original cartridge versions. Where, they had to deal with all that and just cause, a bit of eye strain right here. And, I guess that was actually considered, where they just go, like, flashes too much here. But, oh, yeah, and I want to go, I think I should go ahead and go over those enemies, too. I didn't really mention them. We did encounter them before. Those starfish enemies, those are called Shuris. And Shuris will go and, like, as soon as they spot you, they will spin around, and then they will try to aim right at you, and they kind of go in their own kind of pattern. And then these pufferfish enemies are called puff tups. They will inflate themselves first, and then they explode. And then their spikes will actually go in all four corners, so you want to be careful not to get hit by their spikes as well. And then last but not least are these stingray enemies called flotsams. They just move around. I mean, they're kind of like those bite-sized enemies from the first game. But yeah, like I said, I guess, considering the fact that, since we don't have On Guard with us, then, yeah, there's nothing we can do to attack them here, and so, yeah, we just had to just keep avoiding them, which honestly sucks, though, and that's kind of like the one thing I don't really like about these water levels is, how defenseless you are. Because, like, in the water levels of the Mario games, because, Mario at least had some sort of well, I mean, he can't really physically attack underwater, but he can actually still use the power-ups, and he can still use the fire flowers even while underwater. Yeah, still be able to use them, like, despite being underwater here, but that's what he actually can do, so he at least, even underwater, he at least has just one way of defending himself with. Here in this game, you have to have just luck enough to actually be able to find On Guard, but unfortunately, like I said, he's just not in this level here. We just have a Glimmer to help us through. All right, and so, and yeah, I also gotta say though, I especially love the color for this one though, because like, throughout the entirety of Krem Quay, you're gonna be seeing lots and lots of green. Well, I guess, it makes sense considering the swamp aesthetic, because we're basically in a swamp is what it is. But it actually looks really, really nice here. I mean, just, I just like the color. Definitely love the coloration of this one here too. And we're gonna be going outside in just a sec here, yeah, just on the ship's deck. Yeah, everything else is green. The sky's green, and the water's green, and everything like that here, too. And, oh, yeah, here's a thickish spiny here. Yeah, that's what they call spinies. Not like regular porcupines, even though that's what they are, but just spinies here. And, kind of the same thing as those very same Mario enemies, I guess, thrown by Lakitu. Alright, there's a Kong College on a half-sunken ship here. Well, I guess it's safe enough, though, but, like, there's also a Funky's Flights that's actually within those forests here. And, whenever I'm seeing the backgrounds of the level select artwork of the Krem Quay, those those forests back over there are like the whole background. You know what it reminds me of? It actually reminds me of the front box art of the Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo. And it's, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be like some sort of nice reference for that or something like that. I don't know. All right, so Crackhead Clamber. Now, here's a catch for this here, folks. So if you're doing 100% completion for this here, you are going to need to do a bit of effort right here, because as you can see here, we have two zingers that are up here. So what you do is that whenever you press A to pick up your character, what you can do is that you can actually be able to, like, as soon as you actually start throwing them, you're actually in control of the characters being thrown. And then if you hold on the control pad for each of those direction kind of control pads here, then you actually be able to control the direction of where the characters are going to be thrown to. And don't worry, guys. The other character, the character you mainly play as, will actually be locked in though. So you're only taking control of the character who's being thrown. So that's what you do. But it's very tricky to do, especially if you have these zingers right here, and that's how you get to the DK emblem they see here. So yeah, that part, I mean, it's finicky, and kind of takes practice as well. Especially those of you who are very much new to this game here, or if you haven't played this in a long time. In my case, I kind of haven't though. Even though I actually did get some good practice runs in though, but muscle memories and all that. But Yeah, that's what you do. You just throw them in like in some certain direction to you know, start your character, and then there we go. And that's how you get that DK emblem. So you really want to be careful, folks, because well, because of the way that those dingers are stationed. And oh, god damn it. Okay, I didn't mean to do that right here. But yeah, this here, there's going to be a lot of platforming sections here, and also the crockheads are back. And honestly, though, that at the very least feels much safer. It's actually in the swamp. It actually makes more sense as well because, you know, if you're in the swamp area, then that's actually where you find, you know, well, I want to say crocodiles, but I live in Florida, and so, you know, therefore, you know, very much the south portion of America, and so in this case, that would be alligators, because, you know, alligators are, you know, they would actually, they always tend to live in swampy areas, so, I guess it would probably make sense enough, though, but, like, you know, in the case of crocodiles, well, I mean, they could probably still live in swamps, though, but, I mean, well, maybe I'm not exactly that much good with it, you know, geography or something like that, though, but, like, you know, but I'm pretty sure there probably would also be swamps, or, well, or at least in, well, in Africa. But, like, you know, well, that'd be like in, in River Niles or something like that here. But, I don't know, maybe those kind of swamp areas, or maybe like, oh, let me think here. I don't know, maybe that's where you would just find those kind of crocodiles here or something like that, though. But I know for a fact that, you know, in our case, we have our own kind of, our crocodile kind of species here that are very much similar, though. It's just, you know, in my case, you know, in Florida, then, you know, we just have alligators, is what it is, though, so. But, you know, I guess it still makes sense in a way, you know, just being the swamp here, though, so. Anyway, so back to the level in question. So, yeah, there's going to be a lot of platforming you have to do, and especially if you have to go and hop on top of these flares here. And also, you see these crockhead barrels. Once you go right into them, then that's when they will start raising up, though. But they're also timed as well, so they will actually submerge back into the swamp water if you take too long. So you want to make sure to be quick about it if you want to go over them. And also, hi there, Dick Zinger. You are a Dick Zinger for sure, because like you know, considering that you're just right at the angle, so I have to be real careful with that one here. And so yeah, like I said, I had to go back to make sure I got out of the collectibles, because you know, I'm always one of those guys that in which, of course, you know, that my my inner conscience is actually screaming at me to make sure that if I got everything. So I had to go back and check to make sure that I got all the collectibles here. So, and you know, that's probably what it's going to be like once I eventually get to doing a Let's Play of Donkey Kong 64, which is going to be the last game in the marathon. And so it's going to be a long one, so get ready for that one here, folks. Alright, so for this kind of bonus section, you're actually going to need your partner for this one, though. I actually went over there with Dixie alone because I lost the day beforehand, so what I did was I off-screened over to one of the previous levels, just so that way they can get Diddy back, because you actually are required to have your partner with you, so that way you can actually be able to jump higher here. Alright, so this here is Rattle Battle, and so this is actually a Rattly exclusive level, where therefore you can only play as your animal buddy. So because of that, you're going to be dealing with the awkward bouncing controls here and there, so not really a huge fan of it here. But I will say this much, though. I love the music track that's playing right now. Holy shit. Listen to it here. Oh god, I love this track so much. It's so fun. It is so fun sounding. It's actually a remix of the gameplay gallery theme. Well, I would say, you know, the first part of the shanty portion of the gameplay gallery theme in DKC2, you know, when you fight King K. Rool. So they actually kind of remixed that one, but the rest of it is actually a remix of the other theme from this game too, like in the first level as well. And, you know, it's actually it's faster paced, and, you know, it's very jazzy too, and it's so fun sounding as well. It's such a great track. Yeah, it's fun. It's called a Sneaky Shanty is what it is here, and oh man, it's such a fun track to listen to, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Well, I mean, you know, right next to Mighty Melancholy, because you know, Mighty Melancholy is without my absolute favorite track in this whole game too. But this one's just fun sounding too, and I got hit by the cannon right there. Sorry about that, folks. But yeah, it's just so fun sounding here too. It's, you know, what else can I say about it? It's a great track. So I guess I don't have anything more to say about, you know, how great this track is as well. So yeah, remember, so you want to make sure to remember, like, you know, if I'm going all the after all those bonus rooms here, so, you know, just you know, take advantage of your super jump, and also you see that that banana formation where the arrow's pointing upwards. Yeah, I really do like how these bananas actually provide hints. You know, the way the banana formation is, you know, it provides hints to where the where the bonus barrels are. So I really do like how they do that. You know, that's actually one of the great things about this game as well. So, but yeah, there's not much more to say about it. You know how just absolutely amazing that track is. You know, Snaky Shanty. It's such a fun track too. Okay, sorry, I actually swallowed something really fast here. I'm not sure you probably heard it because I would actually try to cut that off here. So yeah, sorry about that, folks. But yeah, like I was saying, you know, it actually starts off with a nice little pirate shanty, and then it just goes into this real jazzy theme. It's just great what it does here. Kudos to David Wise for this here too. Another thing I also want to point out here is that, you know, I just like this attention to detail where, you know, every time you kill an enemy, they actually just get knocked down. You actually see that splashing animation. Or that splashing graphic that you see here, so it actually goes to show that they actually literally get thrown overboard, or just drop down in the water. So that's where you see that splashing animation. So that's actually a real nice little detail that they added here. So yeah, they really do go above and beyond with these little graphical things or graphical effects right here too. So it's real nice. I know it's a small thing though, you know, very minor though. To you know, I guess a little too minor just to talk highly of though. But you know, that's something that, you know, hey, it's on the Super Nintendo, and so if you see right here and you just go like, wow, that's a good thing right there, and that's just what it is here. So all right, and oh yeah, you're probably hearing you're actually hearing Diddy's cries for this here, like, you know, just like yeah, he's literally just like calling out to Dixie, and she just leaves him behind. He's like, Dixie, you bitch, let me out of here. Yeah, and don't call your girlfriend that here. She's your girlfriend. Don't call her that. Alright, so now we have another one of Club's kiosks right there. So let's go and pay him 15 Krem coins. We got enough here. Krem Quay roll choose. Oh, yeah, that actually gives you a good hint to what, you know, how a K roll really is here. So like, you know, so despite how intimidating that club can be, like I said, he's actually very friendly whenever you pay him the 15 Krem coins. And so I guess because, you know, because of the fact that, you know, according to him, K roll treats him like shit, and so I guess he never really expected the Kongs to actually you know, reward him with generosity, and so because of that, you know, he actually feels like he can just be open and honest to them. So, you know, just tell them about K-Roll's nature, and so he's actually already encouraging them to whoop K-Roll in the ass. So it actually goes to show that, you know, the Kremlings they actually don't think very highly of K-Roll at all because of the way he treats them, and so they actually mainly follow him out of fear. So. And especially more so they'll see a DK2 where, you know, where he's not right next to them too. So, all right, so we're back in the Lost World. So yeah, like I said, I'm always going to be doing the Lost World levels, you know, each level as well, because there's only like one per level. The next one is Black Ice. I forgot what the rest of what is here, but it's basically a nice level here, kind of like with well, I guess a bit of a callback to a Slip Slide Ride, except without the ropes here. I will say that, oh, these dicks right here, these assholes. Those are like the darker variants of the clobbers. What they do is that if you touch them, they actually they take away your lives, and not like as in, you know, they outright kill you and you lose a life. I mean, like, you know, they literally absorb your lives or sap away your lives as well. So, you know, it's like kind of like a life drain right here. So you really want to watch out for them too, because well, they're assholes like that, and kind of creepy looking too. Anyway, here, so yeah, more music gushing over. I also love this track as well because, you know, it sounds so soothing too. And yeah, I very carelessly got hit by the zinger here. It's also because of these ice physics, and you already know how much I absolutely hate ice physics in games, and so this one's kind of no exception here. You also slide downwards too, and so that's a little easier to actually run into those enemies too. But for the single bonus room that you want to get to, you want to hold on to this cannonball. Make sure you don't lose the cannonball as well. And you'll find this one cannon that will take you over to the bonus room, and so that's actually, you know, the only single one, and that'll get to the that DK emblem that houses there. But yeah, like I said, you know, this this track I really do love so much because of how, oh, god damn it, I love it just because of how soothing it is. It's very much of an eargasm too. It's called In a Snowbound Land, and you know, I can always relax to this kind of track too. Ah, man, what else can I say though? DKC2 soundtrack, it's so phenomenal. It's, you know, definitely the best out of the whole three. You know, in my opinion, it is though. I love this soundtrack so much. It's such an amazing track. I know I'm gonna keep on gushing over the tracks that's playing right now, but you know, I just can't help it. It's so good. It's such a great thing to listen to, and oh man, I just love the way David Wise would do it as well, and I think the other composers as well. Like, you know, there was Evelyn Fisher and Robin Beanland. I know Robin Beanland is also the guy who composed the soundtrack for Conker's Bad Fur Day, so not much I know about it. I think it's just him too, so. But yeah, that's all there is right here, so. Yeah, this one is, well, maybe not as challenging as Jungle Jinx, but it's definitely challenging in a sense where, there's a lot of enemies that you have to look after as well. Alright, next up is Slime Climb. So, this one you also want to hurry as well, because as you can see here, the water, or I guess the slime right here, because the green water, jade water was what it is. It's going to rise up, and you also see this asshole down there, that is a Snapjaw. Yeah, I was thinking that, the other one was a Lockjaw, but this one here is a Snapjaw. And very much like those, well, I guess you could just call them Big Bertha from the Mario games. This guy will eat you. So, whenever you're in the water, he will relentlessly chase after you, and he will try to eat you as well. So, yeah, you really want to try to hurry and just make sure you don't get into within his range here. Now, here's the catch, though. There's that one bonus barrel and also that one DK emblem that's actually within the water itself. But thankfully, though, there is that invincibility barrel that you can actually collect over there. You won't be able to get eaten by Snapjaw. So there's that at least. And I guess this is actually our return to like being able to level on a ship's mast. So there's that here. And I also love the background for this here. You see how absolutely green it is? It's like a dark green is what it is here. It's all cloudy and well, kind of like almost kind of like an alien sky here. I don't know why, but like, seeing the whole hue. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the invincibility barrel. Excuse me. They want to make sure to pick up as soon as you see it, and so that way there you can actually go down, and that way there the Snapjaw will get you, and that's because there's that bonus barrel down there. So that's why you really have to get that invincibility barrel, so that way there you can actually get to that the bonus room. So. Alright, so for this one, yeah, it's best to actually go for Dixie for this one here because of her spin jump. And that way they can actually just descend downwards very slowly, just get those, just collect those stars. And there we go. Simple as that. And there we have it. But yeah, like I said, I actually really do admire this whole green here and all the green coloration that's in there, and even the background as well, because like, I don't know why, it's, maybe it actually kind of reminds me of something here, like, some kind of a nice little vibe to it here, with all this green and all this the green clouds right here. Actually kind of reminiscent, or I guess maybe a bit of a precursor to those green clouds you see over Gruntilda's lair. But that's only like, just around in Banjo-Kazooie, where, you actually just see all the green clouds that's over her lair in Spiral Mountain. But like, just all this green right here, this I guess very much like an olive green is what it is here, and it actually just applies to all the hues right here. I don't know why, it just kind of reminds me of something though. Maybe some certain places I've been to that has all these aesthetics here, and just kind of gives me a bit of a nostalgic feeling. I don't know why, it does. It does. I mean, I might not really know what I'm talking about though, but but that's just the feeling I get. I'm sure you guys can probably sympathize with that. If you actually get this strange vibe that you can't really explain what it is, but it's there, and you just kind of get this little feeling here. So, all right, so there's the next bonus room that we have here, and this one we have to destroy them all here. This one is a bit tricky though because we have these. Well, you actually just use that DK barrel to kill those that one flitter. We have these cannonballs, but you want to make sure to like not to lose so much of them though. Especially you want to make sure to kill those zingers in a certain position, and and those cannonballs are one use only. So you want to make sure not to lose them, because if you want to go after all the or kill all the enemies, then you're gonna want to make sure not to lose those cannonballs either, because since they're one-time use here. So. All right, and yeah, before you actually go and get to the end goal, there's a DK emblem that's right here at the very end. So yeah, make sure you collect that one. Well, if you're actually going after all of them, I should say here. But it is it's a full playthrough, so that means I'm gonna have to. So oh yeah, there's Diddy get his jam on. And yeah, I also didn't mention this. I know that this video is like 34 minutes long, and I have to apologize once again here though. But like, I'm actually, I just want to, just be able to go through each of the worlds in just one video here. So, anyway, so another one of Swinky's game shows here, and so yeah, it's actually more so with he's just giving us the quiz questions, based on the world we're in. He also has the same kind of model as Donkey Kong himself, except you know, a bit of differences is his clothes and also his eyes as well. Swabby swag. Honestly though, do people ever say the word swag anymore? Because like, you know, because that was actually something that a lot of people will, especially, you know, back in my middle school, they would say that they tend to use the word swag, but I don't really hear them say that anymore, honestly, in those for nowadays. I don't know. Anyway, so the name of this one, yeah, that's Krem Quay. And then what was the first one I got? I thought I saw like something else here. Squeaks. How many are playing same from college? Yeah, that was about a bit of a trick question here. So there was two. I was pretty sure it was two because that's how I was actually seeing those. But yeah, those kind of questions you want to make sure to actually just you know, pay attention to how many there would be. So. Alright, Bramble Blast. So, Bramble Blast, oh man, I had to make sure to be ready for this one here because the whole gimmick for Bramble Blast is that you have nothing but barrel cannons and barely any platforming. So, especially considering that I had to find all the bonus rooms or at least the bonus barrels, I had to memorize where those are because like it can be very tricky, especially you have to remember exactly where the bonus barrels would be. If you're blasting with those barrel cannons, and that could be very easy to forget where some of them are. So, and also, so if you guys probably would, well, I'm sure everybody would know about this track that's playing right here called Sticker Bush Symphony, and this is actually what's considered to be the absolute best, if not the best, in the entire Donkey Kong Country trilogy. And honestly, though, like you know. I probably wouldn't exactly have to agree that would be the absolute best in the entire in all the whole trilogy though. Now don't get me wrong, it's actually a great track. I actually still do love this track because of how soothing it is, and you know, it really does sound nice as well. So you know, it's not a bad track at all though. It is a great track. But to actually say that it's actually the absolute best in the entire game series, I don't exactly see that honestly though, because like I listened to plenty of the tracks from this game as well, and, well, I mean, there's a lot of tracks that I actually wouldn't really take for granted as well. If anything, you know, like I said, Mighty Melancholy would have to be my absolute favorite track as well, but you know, like I said, it's still such a great and fantastic track as what it is here, because of how soothing and very serene it is, too. And of course, I will say that, you know, actually, I also do like the remix it got in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. So, you know, it still sounds good. It's arranged differently, but you know, it's still a great remix as well. All right, so at least I was able to remember that that bonus barrel is right there, though. So there we go. But yeah, that's actually what the whole gimmick of it is here. Is that, you know, you're just doing nothing but blasting out those barrel cannons, and that's just it here. So I mean, if you're actually just going for a casual playthrough, then you know you wouldn't have to worry about having to at least go through all the bonus rooms. But in my case, you know, when I was recording this and I saw this right here, I was like, oh fuck, I had to go through everything. I had to memorize everything too. But thankfully, though, I was able to just I had to make sure to look at those guides because, like, you know, it's I don't know. I guess it's been a long time though, but you know, considering the fact that I haven't really been able to go through all the bonus areas, and you know, I would actually have to just you know look up to see make sure I would actually know where they are though, because you know, because like it can be hard to actually memorize where some of the bonus barrels are. So yeah, I had to look all this stuff here, and then I had to make sure I remember exactly where they are too, because yeah, it was actually something I was dreading as well. And I was like, oh fuck, I gotta do all this right here. And you know, that's actually the whole thing about doing a Let's Play here, is that you know, if I'm actually doing a full completion run, then you know that means I have to go after everything, go after all the collectibles, and so you know it's that part can be a bit of a nightmare too. So also I apologize for the jump cut as well, because you know I fucked up at one point. I missed out on I guess either that one bonus barrel or also that one DK emblem, and so I got to the end goal without collecting those. So I had to go and rewind back over to where I was before. So all right, so I think at least I think we've already gone past the checkpoint barrel too. So yeah, that's I guess that's pretty much it here. So, and yeah, I gotta say though, like when it comes to the barrel cannons, I always like you know you want to make sure to time it just right too, especially with these those rotating barrels, because like you know it's very easy to actually instinctively blast out from the barrel cannon if you actually think that you want to go to the next one. And so that's actually how it is for me, because you know a lot of times I would you know I try to make sure to time it just right, but then you know, I would instinctively press the B button to blast out of the barrel cannon, and so I end up accidentally going to either to the wrong barrel, or I would actually go right to those brambles, because like that's actually the one obstacle that you want to be careful with, are those brambles that you see here. Because if you touch them, then that's when you lose life, or at least lose your partner if you have a partner. And so I guess the one thing to actually establish exactly where you want to go is that you want to make sure to look at where the bananas are. Because, you know, a lot of times the bananas are very helpful in that instance, where, you know, it actually shows you the correct path of where you need to go. So, yeah, you're going to pay attention to exactly where the bananas are. And okay, so I actually blasted out of those, that bramble. And so somehow that didn't kill me, so I don't know how. Okay, well, I landed on that one right there. But then I actually just remembered there was another barrel cannon. So there we go. There's Squawks, who is just waiting patiently for us. Okay, there we go. I just need to make sure to get Dixie out of there. So if you're actually going for the next bonus barrel, you want to make sure. Well, actually, in this case, the DK emblem, but there's also the next bonus barrel that we're gonna be going to. You want to make sure to find Squawks, and then that way they're gonna actually be able to fly over. So just you know, that's actually the other segment. If you're when there's not the barrel cannons, that's when you go for that's when you find Squawks. And so this is actually where you want to really be careful. Just make sure you don't touch the those brambles and also those red zingers too. And there we go. There's our last bonus barrel that we have here. So the last one I think is going to be for another yeah, it's another squawk section. So yeah, for this one you just have to follow the path. It's very easy to do. So you know, just keep on following along. It's very linear like that, I gotta say. But yeah, just keep following along, and then you should be able to make it to the very end where that Krem Quay is. And so just a little bit further. There we go. And my video feed is being a little pixelated. I think it's because my capture card just doing that right here. Or maybe it probably couldn't handle the way the graphics are for this here. I mean, because consider the fact that, you know, I'm just playing the CRT. And look at that, another card collected. You know, I guess I don't know why I didn't really I don't think I ever activated the DK challenges ongoing though, but I think maybe it is though if I'm actually just, you know, getting those cards, because, you know, that's probably part of it here. So anyway, now we have boss Kujol's Contest. And so this boss here, what we're going to see in just a second. Oh, there he is. He seems to be a reskin of our switch color palette of Clubba. Only he's more aggressive. He's actually our enemy and not really the friendly kind. So anyway, so Kujol here. So what it is here is that he's going to keep on jumping down onto the ground. And so as soon as he lands on the ground, you want to make sure to jump as soon as he does, because like, you know, the impact from him landing on the ground, it actually shakes, and then you get stun locked. So that's what you want to do. He actually jumps down some kind of pattern, and then after that, then he swings his club and attempt to attack you, and then he'll and then that's when the TNT barrel will come down. And then hold on to the TNT barrel, and then once he lands on the ground again, then just throw it at him, and then that's how he takes damage. And then you just repeat the whole process. Now, the more times you actually throw the TNT barrels at him, then he actually gets faster. So you want to be a little bit careful because of it here. And then now we're on to the for this second half. Then he actually just goes and jumps around in an arch position. So you want to make sure to go under him whenever he does so that way there you won't get hit or just get stun locked from the ground shaking. So I would say that much though. Not a hard boss per se though, but you know, just make sure you time it just right, and then just you know, and just make sure you just know what you're doing as well. So you know, I wouldn't really say too difficult. Just say, you know, make sure you pay attention to his patterns and you know what he's gonna do, and you know, just make sure to don't get stun locked, because that does increase the chances for him to come and attack you. And then there we go. And looks like he's. Oh, that actually looks like he's actually farting as soon as he lands on the swamp water. And Dixie's doing the spaz jig again for some reason. I don't know why she actually does that here. Well, I guess because she actually just runs off whenever you reach the angle though. But I guess they couldn't really implement that there. So anyway, so for the next world, you ready to have some fun? Ready to get some nice unsafe rides just like with Action Park? Well, that's what we're gonna do in Crazy Kremland, and that's gonna be for the next episode. So next time on Let's Play DKC2, we're going to be going to Crazy Kremland and have some fun with all these dangerous rides here. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.